décision pour équiper tout le pays
He took
avec
decision
équipement lourd.
to
Équipement de
equip the whole
construction.
country for construction equipment.
Là, ça me mettait sous pied une stratégie qui est les caravanes changement.
He put a caravan together strategy,
Mais
but
comment c'est à faire route dans tout le
starting to
pays.
do roads in the whole country.
Et pourtant,
But
il y a des gens qui ne sont pas contents pour
some people weren't happy.
Et il y a des gens qui sont tellement pas contents,
Some people was not happy
ils ont bloqué.
that they blocked the project.
Il y a des équipements qui ont mis du feu dans eux.
Some of the equipment set on fire.
Mais c'est ça les changements. C'est ça
But
les
that's what it is,
barrages par rapport à changement.
the blocking of the project.
Même pas camper,
But he doesn't stop.
mais continuer.
He's pushing.
Pendant ma parole là, il y a
What I'm
route qui
talking to
fait
you,
dans tout le pays
There's roads that are being done all over the country
avec le même équipement. Ça.
with the same equipment.
Alors c'est pour me dire que c'est
It's to tell you
des bails qui sont difficiles à
so
faire.
things that are very difficult when you're trying to achieve
Mais
them.
c'est là moi-même quoi qu'on doit aller.
But this is
Hello, guys. Welcome to the 1804. So today we'll be discussing mainly one of the 4 suspects that were transported from Haiti to Miami to face some types of questioning involving their involvement in the assassination of Jovenel Moïse, former president of Haiti. We'll also be discussing maybe a potential unit from Jamaica heading to Haiti to help dissolve the gangs. We'll see what their leader had to say on that. And we'll take a look at the framing of the media in relation to Jimmy Cherizier. I find it interesting. There's been a few pieces and a few video interviews conducted by mainstream media with Jimmy Cherizier. We'll be taking a look at that as well and how they frame him as a gang leader. So first off, this is the Miami Herald article. So 4 more suspects in the assassination of Haiti, President Jovenel Moïse, brought to Miami. So those 4 suspects, essentially, it's Christian Sanon, which this guy, that was supposed to be the person put in, the plotters had decided they were going to put in position once Jovenel Moïse was assassinated. James Solage as well, who is a former DEA informant. Oh, sorry, not James Solage. James Solage is one of the suspects, but there's also a guy named Joseph Vincent. He's the former DEA informant. And we also have Germain Rivera Garcia. He's a retired Colombian colonel, and he's allegedly one of the leaders of the attack on Moïse. So they made their court appearance today in Miami at 2 p.m. today. We'll take a look here. This is from this is the AP article. Then I head back to the Miami Herald article right here. Haitian American James Solage, Joseph Vincent, and Christian Emmanuel Manon, and Colombian citizen Germain Rivera Garcia looked calm as they entered a federal court in Miami, wearing beige prisoner uniforms with their hand and ankles shackled. They did not speak at the hearing except to petition for a public defender when Judge Alicia Oteza Reyes asked each of them if they can afford to pay an attorney. I would appreciate it if the court would appoint a counselor, said Solage. The second of the defendant called by the judge to listen to the charges. He, like each of them, answered no when the judge asked if they have work, savings, or property. The judge appointed a different attorney for each of them. Solage, 37, Vincent, 57, and Rivera, 44, were among the first arrested after Jovenel Moïse was shot 12 times at his private home near the capital of Port-au-Prince on July 7th, 2021. All 3 accused of the conspiracy to murder or kidnapping outside the U.S. and providing material support and resources resulting in death. Sanon, a pastor, doctor, and failed businessman, 54, is charged with conspiring to smuggle goods from the United States and cause export information not to be filled, as well as with smuggling goods from the United States and providing unlawful export information. If convicted, Salage, Vincent, and Rivera face up to life imprisonment. Sanon, whose associate has suggested he was deceived by the real and still unidentified masterminds behind the assassination, faces up to 20 years if convinced. During this approximately half-hour hearing, the prosecutor requested that the four remain in detention at a federal prison, arguing that there was a risk that they would flee the country. The judge set a bond hearing for Monday and arranged it for February 15th. So we'll see how this goes. They face hearing today. They're in federal prison as of now in the United States. They were in prison, you could say at least a year. If they were in prison about July 2021, 2022 would have been a full year. Yeah, a year and a half about in Haitian prison before being transferred. We'll head to the Miami article here for those listening on the podcast platforms. So according to complaints, Sanon is accused of conspiring to smuggle goods, including ballistic vests, from the United States and failing to export paperwork. Same thing that was mentioned in the AP article. The United States contends that the South Florida pastor and doctor was building his own private military force in Haiti. Although Sanon is not formally charged in the Moïse murder conspiracy, a Justice Department news release said his and the other suspects' actions culminated in the assassination of the Haitian president. In the main criminal complaint, federal agents say that starting April 2021, Salage, Sanon, and others met in South Florida to discuss the regime change in Haiti and their support for Sanon as the president's replacement. They compiled a list of equipment and weapons for the effort, and Salage shared it with Sanon. The list includes rifle machine guns, tear gas, grenades, ammunition, bulletproof vests, and other weapons and equipment. That's crazy. I don't know how they can get all these weapons. Well, I know how they can. Or I'm sure the privatization of ports is a good contributor to that too. But it's crazy how they're able to get all of that into the country. According to multiple witness interview on July 6, 2021, several conspirators, including Salage, Vincent, and Rivera, met prior to the assassination at a house nearby President Moïse's residence. The FBI complaint and an affidavit said firearms and equipment were distributed, and Salage falsely told those gathered that it was a CIA operation, and in substance said that the mission was to kill President Moïse. Why would he say that it's a CIA operation? The article didn't expand or give context as to why. He would say it's CIA operation. But we'll continue the article and expand on this point here. The following day, several conspirators drove in a convoy to President Moïse's residence with Salage, Vincent, and Rivera traveling in the same vehicle, the complaint said. Once they arrived outside President Moïse's residence, Salage announced that they were engaged in a DEA operation to ensure compliance from President Moïse's security and other civilians. The complaint said a subset of Colombian conspirators were assigned to find the president and assassinate him, and in fact, the president was killed. So about the DEA operation, shouting the day of the assassination, what happened, there were some videos that were floating on the internet, which I'll show you right now, actually. But people were thinking at the time that there's rumors floating around that it was strictly a covert DEA or even maybe potentially CIA operation because he was shouting it itself. But then you see that later on, you see as to why there he shouted it was for compliance and for civilians and the people think it was a legit operation. But also mainly you'll see that in the Salage himself, and later on in the article, it was actually him that was shouting. He says it to himself, and he said it to them. According to Miami Herald, he said this to the Miami Herald, that he was the one shouting it was a DEA operation, which I'll take for you who don't know what I'm referring to. I'll play a video right here. This is from the New York Times.
Okay, they say everybody do not shoot. They say they're not our enemies. Everybody do not shoot.
And again, those for you watching, this is the night of the assassination. And for you listening, yeah, that's the audio for the assassination.
Yo di, messieurs, si nous parler opérateur ou tirer sur nous. This is a DEA operation. Ok, yo di policier ou continue descendre, si ou pas descendre, y'a tirer sur yo. Oh my God. Keep moving.
Ça, police haïtien, oui. Police haïtien mélangé avec blanc. Ça, blanc, yo même yo, ouais, nèg haïtien au courir en l'air là. Nèg Jovenel yo. Oh, yo point Jovenel aller.
So this guy's saying, oh, they took Jovenel. Jovenel is gone. This is one of the civilians that were recording. And I'll go back here. You'll see that he's saying, oh, the police here is mixed with white people, which I'm assuming is referring to the Colombians. Mercenaries, don't you see Haitian police running there? Some of them involved. Yeah, and then these are some people from the operation saying, "Men do not shoot at the men." However, from the video, it's hard to see in terms of what kind of context. Play another one for you here. This is I won't play the whole video, but you'll see there's another video.
The Haitian government's citizens in Sanaa. The Haitian government says the assassins posed as U.S. drug enforcement agents. The DEA says they were not acting on behalf of the agency, but it does now confirm that another one of the suspects was at times a confidential informant. As tensions escalate in Haiti, 3 politicians are jockeying for power and have met with senior FBI and Homeland Security agents on the ground. Tomorrow, the president's chief of security will be...
So that's the DEA operation. In terms of like what he was showing, that's what he was referring to there. Phone records obtained by the Herald show that Vincent was in touch with several main suspects leading up to the assassination. After the killing, he phoned his old DEA handler and was then put in touch with the agency's country director, who convinced him to turn himself in. That I find it strange, and then the article doesn't expand on this, but to me, why would Joseph Vincent Houdin, he's a former DEA informant, why would he call his old DEA handler after the fact that after the assassination? Like, why would he phone him? I find that very strange, unless he had some type of, and then again, who knows what type of relationship they must have had. According to the article, the DEA handler convinced him to turn himself in. And then the article finishes, well, the paragraph ends by saying, despite the phone call to the DEA, U.S. officials said Vincent was no longer involved with the agency. Which it's hard to believe, because if he wasn't involved with the agency at the same time, why are you giving your call to an old DEA handler? And what is not clear either in this article is the old DEA handler still involved with the DEA, or is he retired? If he completely retired, because then that would be more telling as well if this guy is still involved with the DEA, which it doesn't. The article doesn't really state that whether or not that's the fact or not. So I find that very strange, too, considering the fact that even too the DEA has had some kind of their effect in Haiti is very minimal, little to none, you could say, in terms of drug running, like in terms of like actually stopping crime. You can say they've been a little in a sense compliant or dismissive. Mainly there's an article, and there's 2 things. There's whistleblowers that were stating these types of claims, as well as, I'll show you guys here. But this is about the there was a butchered investigation there was a butchered investigation a while back, well, 4 years ago, when there was this boat. Well, get this. So there was this boat, a sugar boat, with cocaine. It arrived to Terminal Vareux. And Terminal Vareux, if you guys don't know, that's the same terminal. So take this. So this boat arrived to a privatized port, Terminal Vareux, and that same port is owned by the Mebs family, one of the oligarchs in Haiti as well. So there's that. And then there was about 700 to 800 kilos of cocaine, and then 300 kilos of heroin, with an estimate U.S. street value of $100 million at the time. And these drugs were literally grabbed by police and civilians. And I'll get into the article here, just give you more context. So, and this is the part that struck me. You guys can read the article for yourself. It's called U.S. Special Counsel Lays Blame on DEA in Bungled Haiti Drug Trafficking Case. But here, this is the most interesting part. Not only did the DEA assist the Haitian National Police in destroying some of the drug evidence and pay them $1,500 US for the cost, but most of the cocaine and heroin smuggled on the ship into a private seaport near Port-au-Prince went missing. The 700 to 800 kilos of cocaine and 300 kilos of heroin hitting among the bag sugar, blah, blah, an estimated $100 million street value. Perhaps most significant because of the DA's mishandling of the Manzanares case, federal prosecutors in Miami were able to bring criminal charges against a low-level stevedore who was implicated in the narcotics probe. The stevedore cooperated with the federal prosecutors, received a lenient 1-year prison sentence, and then was granted asylum in the United States after establishing a fear of persecution in his homeland. Other than the conviction of Gregory George, whose life has been threatened repeatedly while he was in jail in Haiti, no other suspect in the Manzanares case investigation were brought to justice in Miami. So this is something like they could have easily at least done some type of investigation. And you don't have to take this from me too. Then again, this is an article that they repurposed, but this is from the Government Accountability Project, and this is from these whistleblowers. And I'll get into the DEA's role in their negligence in Haiti in terms of drug trafficking and all that stuff. But you'll see the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration in Haiti mishandled a major investigation into a Colombian ship loaded with hundreds of kilos of cocaine and heroin, including assisting and paying Haitian officials to destroy some of the drug evidence, according to a U.S. Special Counsel's report issued Friday. The DA's botched procedures were highlighted by the Office of Special Counsel in a letter to President Joe Biden, in which the drug agency's own finding and report a 2015 narcotics trafficking case involving the MV Manzanares ship were found to be unreasonable. One of the DEA whistleblowers who filed a complaint against the agency said it was a conflict of interest that the agency itself was assigned the initial task by then Attorney General Jeff Sessions to investigate the claim of wrongdoing. More significantly, the former DEA agent who had worked for the agency for 23 years and is now retired said the Manzanares case exposed how his bosses in Haiti failed to fight the influx of drugs flowing through the island into the United States. It was a cover-up, Keith McNichols told the Miami Herald in an interview. One of my big complaints was all the millions of dollars in U.S. taxpayer money that was wasted in fighting drug trafficking in Haiti. Nothing is being done in Haiti. There's a floodgate of dope coming through Haiti. And then again, this is under with the DEA too, and the Haitian National Police, and I'm sure other organizations surrounding that too. We don't have any confidence DEA is going to do the right thing pursuing justice, said Attorney Tom Devine, who presented McNichols along with lawyer Samantha Feinstein at the Government Accountability Project in Washington, D.C. We're going to stick with it and brief Congress and hope that some lawmakers will take it seriously enough to put pressure on them. And there's one interesting part here I want to highlight. McNichols' lawyers also echoed his views, saying the DEA's own probe of the bungled Manzanares case is nothing more than a buddy system where the higher-ups protect their own. For example, the DEA's country attached in Haiti, Sean Alexander, who was implicated in the corruption scandal by McNichols and the second whistleblower, was eventually reassigned to the agency's office in South Florida. Alexander, a supervisor in the DEA's home office, did not respond to requests for comment. So now I know I went on a little rampage here, but now going back to the phone call of Vincent to the DEA handler raises a lot of questions. Why did you call him? Why did you call a DEA handler, tell him this after? And why did you feel comfortable enough to call him? Not thinking maybe he would turn around and say, and maybe call, I don't know, his contacts up in the DEA or CIA or any type of U.S. agency or bureau, say, hey, this guy just called me, say, and just guys called me, say he was involved in this assassination. It's really telling, like, why was he so comfortable into calling his his old DEA handler? Something to keep an eye on as the case unfolds here. And just to show another complicity in DEA's in the DEA in Haiti. This is from an article. Haiti's leader kept a list of drug traffickers, which I believe I showed you guys on episode 11 or 10. But in 2013, Mr. Daniel told the authorities that he found 23 packages of marijuana floating at sea while he was on his boat and decided to bring them home. Mr. Daniel said at the time that he and Mr. Saint-Remy called the DEA to pick up the load he discovered. Guys, for those who don't know, Mr. Saint-Remy allegedly, and he claims himself one of to be a drug trafficker. He's known to be one of the biggest drug traffickers in Haiti as well. He's also the brother-in-law of former president corrupt Michel Martelly, Gouved. And then you also have he's also, according to some articles from Miami Herald and New York Times, he's also influential in terms of even up to appointing ministers in the government, at least when Michel Martelly was in power as well. So even then, so you'll see here, allegedly he called the DEA to pick up what he discovered, but prosecutor Jean-Marie Solomon doubted the story, suspecting it was a ploy to cover up a drug deal gone bad after locals had stumbled on the stash. He arrested Mr. Daniel on drug trafficking charges, but he said Mr. Martelly's Minister of Justice personally intervened and ordered his release. So then again, there's always these type of drug busts that could happen in Haiti. But you see, it's never the DA kind of, whenever these types happen, the DA is for some reason never to be found. And I don't think it's a coincidence, in my opinion, that there has been at least no major drug bust from the DEA in Haiti, knowing what type of resources, knowing their expertise as well. And I'm not saying it's an easy job, but if you're looking at their involvement in Haiti and looking at the work they have to show for it, almost little to none, considering the fact that even two whistleblowers are telling you that there's almost no work being done completely. So there's that. And even then, which was interesting, a while back. Well, I'll continue on the story here. Joseph, who also goes by the name of John Joel John, is a well-known Haitian politician. He's alleged to be a central figure in the assassination. According to Haitian police, 2 weeks before the murder, Joseph went to rent 5 vehicles associated with the mission. He was joined by a powerful gang leader, Vitalhomme Innocent, and a former rebel leader known as the torturer Mirandio Faustin. So Vitalhomme, and we'll get into the gangs too, which is one of the more powerful gangs in Haiti too, torturing, killing. His gangs involved in raping, kidnapping, and all that shit. He allegedly was joined by him, and they had rented out when they were renting out these cars, these vehicles. He was joined by the gang leader Vitalhomme, and with Vitalhomme, which I want to bring you a video. It's the same guy, and just to show you the relation, like why you almost can't separate. In Haiti, you almost can't separate the government and the gangs because they almost go hand in hand. Any type of story you see, there's always some type of connection you'll find between the gangs and the politicians that are supposed to do their job. Well, anyways, Vitalhomme actually was this was last week on a radio show, but he had claimed that he had sat down a meeting a while back with some higher ups in the government, including Pierre Marie, just to show you the relations with gangs here. Let me play a video.
Kidnapping. Si un groupe policier qui fait kidnapping, dis-moi tel kidnapping qui te fait, c'est où que te fait. Ou même vite l'homme, est-ce qu'on va faire kidnapping?
Bientôt, c'est une raison qui fait me dire, moun qui peur, pas qu'à camper sous moun.
Évidemment.
Quel que soit on est cap français qui pas qu'à assumer, c'est parce que le pas quoi dans tête li.
Très bien.
OK?
Très bien.
Et moi te dis, avant que me te parler avec l'amour, pas la zone, pas la pli, nous te gon lien et me dire que nous te gon chiffre.
Give me one moment here. Cut down here. Let me see.
Nous te créons, c'est ce qu'on appelle un forum de fantômes. Laisse-nous te chita avec des hauts gradés.
Si t'es
Mieux placé au niveau du gouvernement actuel.
si t'es non.
Moi, te dis, il y a un point de presse là.
Très bien.
Tout nèg qui fait partie des gouvernements ça actuel ça là, tout nèg ça fait partie des équipes qui te fait sans couler, qui te fait mort pour te participer dans le gouvernement ça là.
Pays, diaspora haïtienne, qui a souffri, qui connaît que dans quel niveau il y a des jeunes garçons dans le pays, qui connaît dans quel niveau que ou pas qu'être dans le pays, et puis c'est nèg ça pas ces petites sorettes là, il y a comme si il y a bail pour tout chaillot après toute planification finie ensemble avec elle. Bail pays il y a 5 grandes nouvelles l'homme, fait ça pour nation, fait ça pour la république, fait ça pour tête ou, fait ça pour petit ou, fait ça pour famille. Bail pays il y a 5 grandes.
Nous sommes avec ex-sénateur Nenel Kassi,
Nenel Kassi,
Ahmed Michel.
André Michel.
So he named André Michel, politician in Haiti as well.
Avec directeur actuel là, c'est fait partie de membres.
Qui est-ce que, on parle de directeur actuel, qui parti?
Directeur de la police.
Ça veut dire FRANÇAIS.
The director of the police.
Ok, ça fait toi.
That he sat down, FRANÇAIS LB, that he sat down with allegedly.
Ok.
Nous sommes avec le premier ministre avant que le côté lié.
So he just said he sat down with the PM before he was prime minister at the time. So this is gang leaders meeting up with politicians or powerfuls in Haiti to negotiate.
Ariel, on va parler là?
Tout le monde net ça aussi ensemble avec nous. Ariel, qui est-ce qui a couché? C'est l'homme Jovenel qui a couché Ariel.
Ok, reprendre nos ça pour nation, capitaine d'eau, parce que vite l'homme, on va parler la vérité.
Notre premier ministre, notre représentant.
He's reiterating it. That is PM Ariel Henry. So just to show you the relation, as long as you can, and that's what I mean. Like it's so hard. This crisis in Haiti, you can't. A lot of these situations, you can't even separate the state, which is the government bodies, from the gangs. And going back to the Vincent calling his former DA informant. This is from April 26th, but an article like, is there a U.S. intelligence agency linked to the assassination of Haiti's president? And reason for that is mainly, and I'll read it to you here. In a curious new twist to the investigation into the murder of the president of Haiti last July, the Justice Department has asked a court in Miami to impose special security measures to protect classified information from becoming public in the case of one of the men accused of participating in the alleged assassination plot last July. In court filing, the prosecutor asked the judge to appoint a classified information security officer in its case against Mario Palacios, a former Colombian soldier who was arrested after the assassination. The request, which was granted by the judge, appears to confirm suspicions regarding some still unclear link between the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse and the actions of U.S. government intelligence agents or informants. The court documents do not explain in detail why the protective measure is necessary or what kind of evidence it might refer to. The government is pretty much telegraphing CIA involvement, said Mike Vigil, the former head of operations for the DIA in the Caribbean. The court filing once again raises questions about what precisely the U.S. has been up to in Haiti and what information it may have regarding to the plot to the assassination of the president, said Jake Johnston, a Haiti watcher with the Center of Economic Policy and Research. So we'll see, but why would they want this information? Why would they ask for this type of information to be completely classified if the U.S. has zero involvement in the assassination, right? This assassination, although some of it was planned on U.S. soil, it was conducted in Haiti. Now, to me, it is weird because I find if you want to be truthful and be more transparent, stating this, I don't see the U.S. putting this installing a classified information securities officer without any type of reason, right? And it was for specifically against Mario Palacios, who was arrested. To me, maybe leads to be they're trying to hide information that may link them to the assassination. Because then again, that I wouldn't completely rule that out at all. And if not involvement, maybe complicity. If not complicity, maybe they had intel on what was going on. But we're evolving. My theory on the assassination has always been, I don't think the U.S. did not know what was going to go on, or did not know exactly what happened, or does not know what happened. I don't think they were, essentially, I don't think they were, when it happened, they were surprised or shocked. And if they were surprised or shocked, they definitely have, I think they have all the information they need now, to put the people behind bars. At least the intelligence in that part. So we'll see how it goes. There should be more arrests or more transfers, from, Haiti, to United States. And mainly a lot of people were asking too, in the sense that why is it that they're able, the assassination was done in the United States, but the assassination was done in Haiti. However, the investigation is heavily being done in the United States. So first of all, Haiti's justice system is terribly weak. So even if that it was planned in Haiti, I can't see a way how we would have gotten this far in the courts, in the investigation, in the sense that a lot of these judges, prosecutors were getting threatened, their life threatened. But now, as to why it's on the U.S. is investigating it, we have it right here. U.S. authorities in separate criminal complaints charging other suspects have said a South Florida trip by Solange days before Moïse's killing is key to justifying the United States' jurisdictional right to investigate. During that trip, they said Solange provided a written request to the owner of the security firm responsible for paying the Colombians, asking for assistance. That request is considered a critical development in the U.S. investigation, which speaks of a co-conspirator number one. So there you have it. So we'll see how this goes. It's definitely a follow. I'll keep a story that I'll keep following for sure. All right. Next one by Reuters. Jamaica willing to take part in intervention in Haiti, the PM says. So Jamaica would be willing to take part in an international military deployment in Haiti, Prime Minister Andrew Holness told lawmakers on Tuesday, saying the Caribbean island country could also support its neighbors. The United Nations in October suggested a rapid action force to be sent to Haiti, where gangs have expanded territory after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2010. Left a power vacuum. That has led to the routine gun battle between police officers and the gangs, with police last week blocking the streets in protest of officer deaths. So, guys, just to give you a recap, back a little late last year, Senator Blinken came to Ottawa, met with Manny Joly, trying to push, get Canada to lead some sort of intervention or in Haiti. And then Canada had a meeting with CARICOM states, so the Caribbean states, trying to see if maybe one of the Caribbean or American states could potentially have a multinational force to help down in Haiti, which a lot of them said no. And one of the countries, I believe, I'll have to go back and look, but one of them, I like what he said, he didn't recognize Ariel Henry as a prime minister, legitimate prime minister, that he would not get into the affairs of Haiti, at least as of now. So now we're at the point where so Canada was pushing for the Caribbean states to lead international intervention. So now we've got Jamaica, which I don't know why the change of heart randomly now when this was this was being pushed back in October, but there seems to be some change of heart. But at the same time, it's hard for me to believe Jamaica being able to have a big effect, just by the fact that they declared a state of emergency a little late last year, which I'll get a bit into the article, but I won't read too much of it. But Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness renewed a state of emergency in 8 parishes on Wednesday to control an ongoing threat of crime linked to gang activity in the Caribbean nation. Holness on November 15 had announced regional states of emergency, which allow authorities to search buildings and arrest citizens without a warrant. While we have had reasonable success in controlling the number of murders leading up to and during the Christmas season, the threats levels for ongoing gangs conflicts remain elevated, extent, and scale, Holness said in a press conference. The previous state of emergency, as well as new firearms legislations, have accused violent crimes to decline, he said. There are 1,463 murders in Jamaica in 2021, with a gang activity accounting for 71% of these, according to the official data. So they seem to have a gang issue themselves in their own country, and nothing wrong. I'm not trying to diss and saying, I wouldn't accept some type of help. But then again, it's something you have to question, because how effective would the help be? Considering they have their own gang issues at home. And they haven't done a significant difference. It's different. So last week when I mentioned maybe El Salvador coming in to helping, El Salvador still has gang issues going on. However, their approach to it was significant effect on gang activities going on in El Salvador, and their approach was really harsh in that sense too. Now, to be fair, the article is not talking about any type of approach, or Andrew Holness didn't speak of their type of approach, but clearly they do have a gang issue, and there's no data showing any type of significant difference or reduction of their gangs activity reducing or crime reducing in Jamaica, actually since ever Andrew Holness has been in power. So there's that. We'll see how that goes. I'll go into it here. Separately, El Salvador's Vice President Felix Lua has offered to send a technical team to Haiti to offer advice in fighting gangs, a president advisor told Reuters. The Central American country has been engaged in a bloody crackdown against armed gangs on its own territory, which has drawn criticism from human rights groups. So, we'll see how this goes. It's kind of shocking to me. Well, not shocking, excuse me. I'm surprised. But at the same time, I would definitely welcome help from Jamaican troops. However, though, this, at the same time, you have to see the intentions. Why would Jamaica want to send their troops, not troops or their bodies, into Haiti and risk losing Jamaican lives for taking out gangs in a different country? Considering the fact that Haiti and Jamaica don't really have... I know Aristide at the time was establishing a few diplomatic relations with Jamaica, but they don't have that many big ties between the two countries itself. So definitely leads me to question what's going on and why today that he's saying that he wants to he'd welcome a intervention to Haiti. So next, I want to take a look. So there's been a lot of interviews from Jimmy Cherizier from Haiti and by mainstream media. I just want to take a look here. And those of you who are not familiar, at least from what I believe, I don't think Jimmy Cherizier as a gang leader is one of those that is out here committing rape, gangs, and killings. I think in a sense he's being used by the international community in the sense that trying to create an issue and pin it on him, while there's other gangs actually committing crimes that have not been sanctioned, not been interviewed, or even many articles written about them. Or even when you're talking about gangs in Haiti and looking at their faces, you're not even, a lot of the time it's mainly Jimmy Cherizier at the center of it. So let me play a video here and then I'll get into exactly what I mean here. But Jimmy Cherizier, again, I consider him more of a revolutionary, not a gang leader in the sense that he's actually out here trying to fight the system and the oligarchs. And he claims he's had even 4 attempts of killing, attempts of assassination on himself. He's the same guy that claimed multiple times that he's been offered money, because at the time when one of the oligarchs, Boulos, thought he was one of the an actual gang member committing crimes, he was offered money from Boulos to go burn down a Toyota dealership down the block of where his Boulos' Nissan dealership was. So there's that going on. He's denied money. He allegedly denied money that way. So it begs you the question, and I'll play the video and then we'll get into it here. Give me one sec.
This is a country that is falling apart day by day. We wanted to move from one area of the capital, Port-au-Prince, to another, crossing two rival gang territories. Sky News contacts insisted we had a police escort. Machine guns ready, they cleared a way through. It is that bad. The officers were wary. 10 policemen were killed here in the last week. Haiti has been bad for years, but this is a new development. There is now no elected controlling authority at all. Some countries are actively considering sending in foreign soldiers to impose order. Port-au-Prince is a seething mass of desperate people. 60% of the city is under gang control. There are over 100 groups, and that is who the international force would face. After weeks of negotiation, we were guided by a motorcycle rider into the heart of one of the most notorious gang-controlled areas. We came to meet a man known to everyone as Barbecue. He says sending in foreign forces would be a disaster.
Je pense que c'est une intervention parce que la communauté internationale là assez lucide pour rendre compte pour chita pour dialoguer avec tout le monde. Mais si on essaie de résoudre avec ZAM, et je pense effectivement un peu le monde dans le quartier populaire au Cameroun, un peu le monde. Et il y a tué plus de monde dans le quartier populaire, il y a tué plus innocents que coupables.
Jimmy Cherizier is a former police.
And this is the guy that they sanctioned. And before I continue the video, just to show you, so the UN sanctioned him when you talk about the mainstream media and the press, when they're looking at gangs and they're always pinning on Jimmy Cherizier. This is from the Washington Post. Then again, I'm talking about other gangs like Vitalom, Vitalom's gang, Katamaozo. And then you're looking at here, and this is from, just to give you better context, this is from December 16th, 2021 from the Washington Post. So look back, and in Haiti, the Western Hemisphere's poorest country, holds the grand record of the world's highest kidnapping rate per capita, okay? One gang, 400 Maozo, which was responsible for 80% of abductions in Haiti from June through December 2021, according to Gédéon Jean, director of the Center for Analysis and Research in Human Rights in Port-au-Prince. So a gang that was responsible for 80% of kidnappings for 4 months in a year has still yet to be sanctioned by the UN, has yet to even have a hit piece article as much as Jimmy Cherizier. Now, in terms of the interviews, that's something more interesting too, right? Because these mainstream media outlets have a lot of access to Jimmy Cherizier, but for some reason, they don't have access to these actual gangs. Now, it begs me to wonder, is it because those gangs can't guarantee their safety? I have no clue. I don't know how usually that even works. But that's something I've always thought about, if it's because they can't guarantee the safety, or is it on purpose too, that the mainstream media, maybe they know what's going on and they're going to Jimmy to come back and frame it in a way that's not favorable to him.
He's under sanctions from the UK for his actions here, but he does remain.
So you see, he's under sanctions for the UK for his actions here. But they can't really say his actions other than that flaky, very flaky RNDDH report that was said that he participated in the massacre of La Saline of 2018, even though there's no evidence of that at all.
One of the most powerful people in Haiti today, and he doesn't like being interrupted.
I'll just skip that part here. Actually, no, I'm probably seeing it. And this is the part too. Like, you'll see this, and then And they make him look
he
crazy.
doesn't
And he
like
kind of
being
looks crazy
interrupted.
here. But he said he doesn't like getting interrupted. And I'm assuming he's yelling because people are talking about while he's interviewing.
Hey! 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 Something down!
They want to destabilize them.
Yo, non a fait avec. T'as même fini, non a fait avec.
Constantly escorted by machine gun toting guards, he told me the threat of an organised hit on him is permanent. He has survived 4 attempts already.
Est-ce que la bleu ça?
The blue building,
The blue building, yeah.
yeah.
OK, vous campez là, vous tirez là.
Barbecue is the leader of one of a collective of gangs called the G9. They are very powerful, but not powerful enough to take on the other 91 gangs.
Tout moun sa yo, tout se moun ki te la kayo, gang météo de yo. Je dis assez yo même wè dans kayo là. Ya. Quand y a moun sa yo, chaque jour, faut jeune manger pour ba yo. Faut en face là, so traverser depuis moun a traverser y a tiré.
You can't go across because the rifle gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People over, they'll shoot.
So if you were to just go through here now, would they shoot?
Yeah.
So Barbecue and his men control their area, police it and patrol it.
Est-ce que moun yo respecte m? Est-ce que yo apprécie m? On capable dire oui. Oui pour qui ça? OK, même si moun a pas très même. Mais le fait que mes péchés au voler dans business li, le fait que mes péchés au violer petit li. Moun ça vient développer une certaine.
It's hard to explain, but this is like a castle, and inside, Barbecue is the king. But his enemies are only one wall away.
Et qu'on utilise caillou pour faire va pour tirer. So monte en l'air, ça fait me faire craser plus fort. Moi ça.
They use those houses to hide out and shoot.
Et qu'on entre dans caillou là pour tirer. Again, monsieur, à la tête nantes.
He dispenses money and largesse. He sees himself as a revolutionary fighting against the dark corruption of government and oligarch businessmen. But he is a gang leader and is always under attack. Port-au-Prince is a war zone every minute. The edges of their territory are clearly marked, and he rarely goes beyond them. What's really incredible, actually, is the sense...
And again, they don't really give any type of context. And every time these mainstream media goes down to Haiti, it's always him that they seem to be interviewing.
In a war zone, actually, going through back alleys to get between the front lines, which are around the corner. It's like being in Aleppo.
And to be honest, I'll ask you, does he look like some type of menace that's out here raping, killing, and doing all this stuff? I doubt it.
Like being in Mosul. It's quite remarkable, actually. You've got so many factions, so many gangs fighting each other, and their territories are very specific.
And keep in mind, the territory, like when he's talking about territories, they don't really expand on this video. The territory he has, it's a neighborhood protected, but mainly of people so they don't get attacked by the actual gangs that are committing these kidnappings, abductions, and killings. So the zone that he has is protecting people can live there freely and do whatever they want. They're not living the zone that Jimmy Cherizier occupies. These people are not living in fear for their life or abduction or kidnapping. He's there actually protecting them. But you won't get that context.
Ironically, it is safer for us to film here in this gang-controlled territory than in most of the rest of the city.
And they keep using gang-controlled territory, which I know he is a gang, but they say it in a way that's with a lot of negative connotation.
City where we could easily be kidnapped or killed. And that is something that every single person lives with here every single day.
I'll show you another one here. And this is from the AP. And then I'll show you a video from Al Jazeera after, but I'll start the article from the AP. So in Haiti, gangs take control as democracy withers. And who do you see again at the front? Jimmy Cherizier. So someone that's not even involved or not looking at this will think, well, this guy is a gang leader. He's definitely the cause of the issues, even before reading the article. So Cherizier, that is the description. Cherizier, best known by his childhood nickname Barbecue, has become the most recognized name in Haiti. And here in his territory, enveloped by the tin roof homes and bustling streets of the informal settlement La Saline, he is the law. Internationally, he is known as Haiti's most powerful and feared gang leader. That is false. Well, in terms of if you're watching mainstream media, he look like he will look like he's a gang leader. However, yet there's a lot of gangs, Vitalom, Katsumauzo, that are committing crimes. There's gangs from the private sector, economic sector, political sector, that are committing crimes and yet have not even been sanctioned or they have not drawn as much attention as Jimmy Cherizier has. And why is that? Continue. Because it doesn't make sense. And then again, out of all of the gangs in Haiti, I keep mentioning this, he's the only one sanctioned by the UN. He's the only one, yet he's the one that's claiming to actually be protecting Haitian citizens and fighting against the system of oppression in Haiti. Sanctioned by the United Nations for serious human rights abuse, and the man behind the fuel blockade that brought a Caribbean nation to its knees late last year. But if you ask the former police officer with gun tattoos running up his arms, he's a revolutionary advocate against a corrupt government that has left a nation of 12 million people in the dust. I'm not a thief. I'm not involved in kidnapping. I'm not a rapist. I'm just carrying out a social fight. Cherizier, leader of G9 family and allies, told the Associated Press while sitting in a chair in the middle of the empty road in the shadow of a home with windows shattered by bullets. I'm a threat to the system. At a time when democracy has withered in Haiti and gang violence has spiraled out of control, it's armed men like Cherizier that are filling up the power vacuum left by a crumbling government. In December, the UN estimated that gangs controlled 60% of Haiti's capital. But nowadays, on the streets of Port-au-Prince, say the numbers are all close to 100%. There's democratically speaking little to no legitimacy for Haiti's government, said Jeremy McDermott, head of Inside Crime, a research center focused on organized crime. Haiti's nearly 200 gangs have taken advantage of the chaos, warring for control. And then again, this AP's telling you there's over 200 gangs, yet one of the guys involved have been sanctioned. Tension hums in Port-au-Prince, police checkpoints dot busy intersection, and graffiti tags reading "Down with Henri" can be spotted in every part in the city. Cherizier, who would not tell the AP where his money came from, claims he's just trying to provide security and improve conditions in the zones he controls. Okay, and this is funny too, because when you're saying, "Oh, where did money come from?" You're kind of by adding, he wouldn't tell us where his money came from. You're already showing that, oh, he's kind of sketchy and he's a liar before getting into the phrase here saying he claims he's just trying to provide security and improve conditions zones that he controls. So somebody reading this will look at Cherizier's claim and be like, well, why wouldn't he tell the AP where he gets money from? Oh, gang activity. And then again, where did he get his money from? Who knows? You could ask a bunch of revolutionaries where they get their monies or guns from too, right? But at the end of the day, if they're using the system, a broken system, and doing right by the people, I personally think that's a good thing. Well, at least, and then you can go and fix up that system. Inside Crime estimates that before the killing president, Cherizier's Federation of Gangs, G9, got half of its money from government, 30% from government, 30% from kidnappings, and 20% from extortions after the killing. Government funding dipped significantly according to the organization. Where did they cook up those numbers? I have zero clue where they cooked up those numbers. The blockade paralyzed the country in the midst of a cholera outbreak and gave other gangs a foothold to expand. Cherizier claimed the blockade was in process of rising inflation, government corruption, and a deepening inequality in Haiti, which, and again, exactly, that was what he had blocked. He had even claimed at the time too that that's why he was protesting it. And if you guys don't know, it was Terminal Vareux where it was blocked, and that's the CERN terminal that it's owned by the Mez family. In October, during Cherizier's blockade, armed men belonging to powerful Katsumauso gang stormed their neighborhood. The same gang was behind the kidnapping of 17 missionaries in 2021, and they have yet to be sanctioned. And this is what I want to show you. So that's one of the pieces. And the last one here from Al Jazeera. Haiti's high-profile gang leader speaks to Al Jazeera about crisis.
On fuel costs with this 10-second software update. This simple trick will save you thousands on fuel.
From policeman to the most influential strongman in Haiti. This is Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, the leader of the G9, a coalition of some of the country's most powerful gangs. That alliance controls swathes of the capital, Port-au-Prince. As it has fought rival organisations, killings, extortion and rape have shot up. The United Nations say it's the worst violence in the country in decades. But in his first interview with international press in more than a year, Cherizier argues the gangs aren't at the root of Haiti's problems.
Everyone sees only people with guns doing violence, but they don't see the corruption in the country. If you steal state money, if you don't build hospitals and schools and don't care for those in need, all this will continue to spawn violence. Even if you eliminate all armed gangs, if social problems are not solved, there will still be the same amount of violence.
Successive Haitian governments have long neglected the population, but now there's also a power vacuum in the country. Not one official has been democratically elected, and many see the current Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, as illegitimate. Analysts say that's let the gangs off the leash.
Well, before, the gangs acted as a kind of mercenaries with the economical elite and political leaders, but they have over the years diversified their income sources and have acquired some kind of autonomy from their sponsors as they have become increasingly powerful.
Cherizier says he's a community leader, protecting people under his control. But gangs in Haiti control food, fuel and other commodities passing through their territory, demanding protection money, hijacking trucks. The United Nations also accuses Cherizier of massacring civilians and blockading the country's largest fuel terminal. Last October, it levelled sanctions against him. He told Al Jazeera he was innocent and unworried.
So you see, they go into these accusations, and then if you look back again, Haiti Liberté's article and the documentary posted by Uncaptured Media and Haiti Liberté, but you'll see that it was a false claim report written by Pierre Espérance, and then the mainstream media used it, picked it up, and then they said that he participated in the La Saline massacre, when that is not what happened. Essentially, what happened is that there was an operation where a bunch of policemen had died in the operation, and then I think, I don't want to butcher this, if it was not within a week, he had done a special operation with the police, and they had gone back just to go retrieve the bodies. And within the exchange of fire between the police trying to get the bodies and the gangs, there were casualties that were lost in that exchange. And then what happened, they framed it as a massacre and saying Jimmy Cherizier was out here killing people, when that's not the fact. The fact of the matter is, he was actually fighting the system, but they put this report out after he was disgruntled at the system and the way it worked in Haiti as well.
I don't have a problem with sanctions against me because I carry Haiti in my heart until I die. It doesn't bother me because I don't travel, I don't have any goods and any interest in foreign countries. I want to stay and live in my country just like the US, Italians and Canadians are proud to live in their home. I'm proud to live in Haiti.
But in Haiti, the crisis continues. The day Al Jazeera spoke to Cherizier, protests erupted after more than 10 police officers were killed across a week. An ex-policeman himself, he says they're outmatched and underfunded.
Honestly, the police lack a lot of means to guarantee safety, but the country's problem is more political. It is the politicians who are creating chaos so that they can keep their power to make more money. These are all the reasons why they don't pay the policemen well and give them the means, and they become discouraged.
The United Nations is advocating for a foreign force to intervene and help the national police bring law and order. So far, there are no takers to lead it. There are also serious doubts about whether there will be elections this year. But if nothing changes, men like Cherizier will continue to be all-powerful.
And this is here the end of the video by saying men like Cherizier, if this doesn't happen soon, men like Cherizier will continue to become all-powerful. And the way they say that makes it seem like Cherizier is the issue down in Haiti, and he's this powerful gang leader. When you really look at the big picture, he's not that powerful compared to the big picture as well. Small example, very small example. But if let us say all the gangs, like if all the people in the private sector and political sector decided, hey, let's put our gangs up together to go attack the G9, I don't think Jimmy would stand a chance. And you're talking about over 50 to 100 gangs, going to attack a coalition of 9 gangs. But the way they say it, how if something doesn't happen soon in Haiti, Jimmy will stay powerful, makes it seem again he's the one doing these committing these crimes and he's the problem in Haiti, which is not true. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll have some more content for you maybe throughout the week. Maybe a shorter episode, a bonus episode during the weekend. I'll keep you guys posted on that. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you for supporting. Please, when you get the chance, please like and subscribe. That truly be appreciated. Thank you very much and take care.